Screen sharing is starting now, and the sound should be on. I know the sound on this laptop is actually pretty good, so we should be good here. Happy to be with you. We'll be back on schedule at a regularly scheduled time, 8:20 or 8:25 Central Time, just before the market opens. We'll be back on that schedule tomorrow and on Friday. I'm on spring break with my kids next week, so Monday and Tuesday, and possibly, well, no, Monday and Tuesday for sure, I won't be in session. Scott Welsh will probably take over, possibly Stephen Place even as well. And so you'll hear from a couple of other voices, trying to get another couple of friends lined up to participate as well on days when I'm out. Had a great team meeting yesterday, lining up a couple new voices for you to hear from. One is my friend Mark A. Latimer. Another one, we have a big call scheduled with Rising Star on Twitter. Let's see, who is it? Let's see if we can find it. So Julia Cordova trades, like catching some giant moves in oil and whatever else. Not a professional, kind of just under the radar, manages her own money, does pretty well, and have a call set up with her as well to maybe do some training for us also. Then there's this super cool blind guy that manages $1 billion. We're setting up a call with him to provide some training and some other stuff as well. I'm trying to find voices, people, perspectives, excuse me, from folks who actually make money, as opposed to people who have like a professional business selling services and whatnot. Nothing against selling services. I certainly do as well. But I'm a big fan of actually making money. And that's why we're here. So good morning to you. Happy to see you here. We're not going to be here during the market open together. But I thought what we could do is talk about a few things that we have going on, answer a few questions. Let's go over the slides real quick and do the disclaimer. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational. I can't give personalized financial advice. I'm just going to be honest with you and open here. I can't give you particular specific financial advice. It's problematic for me to read your comment on this presentation and then give you specific advice about a financial instrument. So if you propose that we look at a financial instrument, I'm going to give a very generalized overview with maybe a bullish and a bearish kind of perspective. And then what I want you to reflect on every single time you look at the market and you wonder, I wonder what Rob thinks. This is what I think. We scan a number of lists. We look for a very particular counter trend trade. We look for a very particular trend trade. We take big trades and small trades. We always know our max loss and our profit goal. We manage losses by the numbers, meaning we're pretty specific and rule-based when it comes to managing losses. And we manage our profits by the charts and so forth. And then additionally, I will always do my trading in front of you. And that's not meant to be a recommendation or encourage you to do that. And sometimes I'll talk about how much I like a financial instrument, but I won't be able to trade it because if we both traded it at the same time, that would be a problem. And so anyway, I'm just trying to keep it real. I will always, the bigger our scan list, the more likely it is that every single financial instrument that anyone here would ever want to know about will be covered. But once again, I can't give, like, legally, I can't give personalized financial and trading advice. I can't do it. It's super giantly problematic. When we meet in person, we're definitely going to be, right up against the line there. So we'll have some kind of disclaimer for you to sign when we meet in person every time, just to make sure it's clear that I'm definitely not trying to give you personalized advice. Anyway, I'm also doing a Las Vegas live event. We just got it scheduled at the Venetian. It's a 2-day live event for members of my various products and services. You can click on the link inside the slide presentation. You can get the link inside the big doc of links at robbieBooker.com/big links. This is kind of on the back of the money show. Excuse me. Sorry. The money show. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this Vegas live event is important for you to attend. I think it's going to be interesting, but there's going to be like 200 other people there. If you are already going to the money show, then sure, come to this. If you're not already going to the money show, I wouldn't fly to Vegas to attend this. I would rather be at the in-person coaching session that we're doing in April. Okay, so I don't want to spend a lot of time blah blahing about that. We have earnings today on OMI. It's happening right now. Actually, the earnings call is going on right now as we speak. We have a trade on SPPI that I think is going to be gigantic. And we'll look at, I think we're just going to look at the, I really want to take a hard look at Rezi and go from there. I guess today, I want to start talking about thinning out the number of trades I have and making room for some new ones. So maybe we'll look at the current list of open trades and we'll go from there too. Thanks, Alan, for letting me know the screen and everything is good. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, LaDonna. They announced this morning that Italy's going to close their universities and schools until they can get a handle. How will that affect our Italy trades going forward? The EWI can only fall. Italy is also bankrupt. So it's, I think the Italy trade, if it's still open, should be close to profitable, if not profitable. And if it's not profitable, it probably will become profitable. I could trade that small account and show you exactly what I'm doing. And Fritz, I am as excited or more excited about doing that than anything else. So that will never stop. That will never, ever stop. And Fritz, you also don't live in the United States. I can give you mountains of personalized financial advice, Fritz, and I will. So, Fritz, I will totally give you personalized financial advice, Fritz. You don't live in America. It's all about where you reside. It's actually, you could be an American citizen living in Germany and I could do it. So it's very bizarre. The legal stuff is just really, really odd. So yeah, I'm more excited than ever about all the stuff that we got going on. My goals for February, I don't want to forget this for March. I want to take a $9,000 trade. I think we've got it, but we might not, and we'll talk today about that. I want to plan and take 2 to 3 small trades that are worth between, $100 and $1,000, depending on the size of your account. Would be worth $1,000 if you have a $10,000 or larger account, or $100 if you have a $1,000 or smaller account, and then somewhere in between, depending on your account size. Clear up questions about trade sizing, have some honest conversations about how important it is to focus and not get too literal. We want to be playful. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to jump around things. We want to take ideas from lots of different locations and kind of size them up. We want to be real clear about the fact that we might observe a target or a threat or whatever you want to call it. Like we might do some reconnaissance and find a trade in the most unlikely of places. So we want to cast a wide net and narrow it down from there. So we're long Owens and Minor. Pre-market, it's not going anywhere. You can see it's at $6.73. That's over in the lower right-hand section of the screen. But they're doing an earnings call right now. Listen, they're a medical supply company. I'm sure somewhere on the call they're going to have some conversation about how the coronavirus affects them. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. I do know that this has massive potential to move up on every kind of technical situation that we look at. We look at bullish divergence, we look at bullish profit circles, then we look at trend trades, and it's got both of those things going on. We bottomed out, we got a perfect counter trend trade setup. It moved up from there, and then we printed a bullish profit circle in the midst of what looks to be an emerging upward trend. I think that this shows that we could go further upward. Now, if the entire market falls again today, a lowering tide lowers all boats. But I like this one. I own 1,000 shares of OMI. At least I think I do. Let's see here. I do. I own 1,000 shares of OMI. So that looks good. I think I'm just about ready to get rid of ONTX. So let's stay on the pharmaceutical train here. ONTX really isn't moving. I'm just about getting ready to get out of this. It trades 34 million shares a day. I was not expecting that. I was thinking it would trade like 100,000 shares a day and that I was going to run into some problems. But no, I'll stick with this. Okay, I'm going to stick with that one. What else do I have going on in the account? Nokia. I think I'm just about getting ready to dump Nokia. It's just not really doing anything. It's never really treated me well. I think I'm just about ready to get back the money that I put out on that. It cost me $1,300. I could get $1,300 back in my account. I could lose $362, given the fact that we make between $500 and $1,000 on a trade. That seems completely reasonable. I think I'm ready to let this one go, get the money back, and deploy it elsewhere. I'll get $1,000 back in my account, and I just don't. It doesn't look like this long term is going anywhere. I've given this plenty of time. Uh, I wrote it down through the gap lower. I wrote it back up. I should have bought it on this bullish profit circle, and I don't remember doing that. I should have bought 1,000 shares when that happened. I didn't. It's kind of like a trade of mistakes, in other words. So I'm going to just put a limit order in. Nokia is going to open at $3.79. So I'm going to see if I can review the order. Yeah, I wanted to, I don't know, let's just see. Market price, great. I'm going to review the order. I'm going to try to sell that today at market. It's probably going to do it after hours. I'm going to get that money back, and I'm going to cancel out this trade. I'm done with this. I think it's a good idea to just let it go and make room for some other things. GTE down $442 on this one. So this one's not looking good either, and it's been hit pretty hard. This is an insider trade. It's also a candidate for a short squeeze. So I'm going to give this a little more time. I think this could print some bullish divergence and a bullish profit circle, and it could get the chance to add a little bit to this trade and then let this thing move up. So I'm going to keep GTE. It's not at my max loss, so it's completely reasonable. ONTX we already talked about. Drive Shack hasn't been doing what we wanted, down $700 on Drive Shack. So let's look at, it's not at my max loss, but it's just printing bullish divergence and probably going to print a bullish profit circle. It's not at my max loss. I'm happy that that's the case. I may just go ahead and add to this trade because it has the potential to move in our favor. NLS, down $162. I own 300 shares of this. Let's look at NLS. This might be a candidate for a trend trade, right? I mean, it's not. I probably should get rid of Drive Shack before I get rid of this. I mean, this actually looks pretty good. It's not even at my max loss. Maybe it's just a matter of being a little bit more patient and waiting on that. I really should just get rid of Drive Shack. That's what I should do. I'm down $400 on Town Sports International, the club one. I hold this through earnings. This didn't do what we wanted it to do. It didn't reach my max loss, so I'm perfectly okay with this. It's not a mistake to hold on to it unless it goes, deeper than my loss. I don't think I'm really a fan of this stock anymore. So I think club's going to be on the chopping block. So let's go here on March 4th. Closed Nokia, closing club. I think I'm just going to let that one go sometime today or tomorrow, and then maybe hold that through earnings. That seems reasonable. So let me just write that in the slides. Closing club after earnings. If it just can't move after earnings, let's just, maybe move on and deploy that capital elsewhere. I'm going to look at MMLP last. Veritone is up $260. This has been up as much as $500 or $600. And I want to take a good hard look at this one. This looks like it's doing the things that we want it to do. It's moving up, even in a kind of a bear, difficult market. I like the way this looks. It inks a multi-year deal with Canada's Bell Media. I like this. I like a lot of parts about this. This one, I think, this is the kind of trade that we like. We're managing most of these by the numbers, of course, but given the fact that I have so many trades open, it makes sense to look at all of the open trades and then answer the question, do I really want to be in this anymore? Is this even still a trade worth having? And, I'm getting close to or halfway the distance to, in some cases, my maximum loss. This is MMLP just about to bottom out, I think. And I think we're probably headed for a bullish profit circle, and there are just beautiful targets here. But I'm not going to give this very much time either. This is going to run out of time for me. So I think I'm going to put MMLP is close to the chopping block loss also. Just because, I got to free up some capital. I can't have just tons of open trades floating out there and not working out well. Kodak is this insider trade with a massive short squeeze potential. And it's got all the signs. It's got all the things that we like. It's got a trend trade bullish profit circle. I'm going to give this one a bit more time as well. Not very much, but I'm going to give this a little bit of time as well and make sure we're on the right page. And then I have GNC, and this is oversold. It printed that bullish profit circle. It went down with the rest of the market. Let's give this earnings, and let's see where we go from there. So we're going to give GNC may get closed as well. I think that's most of what I have going on. So, all right. I want to save some time for Rezi. I want to do that right now. I want to look at Rezi. I got out of Nokia. I should get into this. I have $1,000 to spend. I could buy 100 shares of Rezi. I think this is exactly where the money should go. So that's where it is going to go. I'm going to buy 100 shares of Rezi. Done. I'm going to try anyway. It may only go up $1 or $2 or $3, in which case I make $200, $300 or whatever. I think this is a way better setup. Nokia was dropping and making new lows and not recovering. And Rezi is bottoming out and printing bullish profit circles, multiple bullish profit circles. And it's got the insider stuff. It's got all the things that we like to look at. So I want to replace it with Rezi. Bought 100 shares. All right, OMI is, once again, it's a trend trade. It's staying reasonably high. We're going to find out a lot about where this is going to go over the course of the next 2 weeks or so. And then there's SPPI. This is exactly where we would want to deploy our money. Lots of insider buying on February 20th. Bullish divergence, bullish profit circle. Executives of the company are buying the shares. This is already profitable. It was anyway. I mean, it's in my Thinkorswim account. So we'll see where we go from there. So Thinkorswim's installing some updates. All right, let's talk about interest rates, because that's going to be a major feature. So let's talk about the S&P 500 and interest rates. S&P 500 dropped yesterday, even though the Fed cut interest rates by 50 basis points, or 0.5%, which is a pretty substantial cut, especially off meeting. There's mixed results in the last 12 years when the Fed made an emergency rate cut. It's happened like 7 or 8 or 9 times. There's mixed results. Sometimes the market goes down after that, and sometimes the market goes up. If the market fundamentals are good, the market usually recovers. If the market fundamentals are bad, or if there's panic or whatever, then it doesn't recover. I think you have to put it in context of the coronavirus, and you have to say, does the Fed rate cut solve the coronavirus? And the answer is no. If the emergency rate cut solves the problem, that's good. But it's even better, Lizzie, when the Fed cuts rates. If the Fed cuts rates in an environment where people are likely to borrow and spend, that's good. But we're kind of entering this weird time when people are pulling back and schools are closing and petitions are going around to cancel conferences and stuff like that. So a rate cut is kind of supposed to be a confidence booster, but it's probably not going to actually lead to, and it didn't lead to an immediate positive reaction. It's supposed to reassure the markets that there will be cheap money. You can borrow money at low interest rates. Remember, when the Fed lowers interest rates, the interest rates are supposed to go down on mortgages and credit cards and business loans and stuff like that. And that's supposed to encourage spending because you make less money saving it because interest rates are low, and you might as well deploy that money and buy stuff because interest rates are low. And so I think there's a lot of truth to the fact that low interest rates should lead to and have led to a giant market run-up. But you first got to get rid of all this coronavirus like stuff. You got to get rid of that first. So the market's going to open higher today. Whether it can sustain that is really anyone's guess at this point. I don't think that we have a VIX trade. We just don't have another trade on any of those financial instruments right now. We just don't have it. And I'm not ready to, call any new trades on that stuff. I would like to, at some point, see the UVXY or the VIX go up a bit more and then buy some puts like we did last week and closed yesterday or the day before. I would like to see that. I would be interested in that. I would participate in that kind of stuff. Because I think, there will be a moment when the markets get back to normal, so to speak. But it's anyone's guess right now. I don't think we've really found. So on the topic of have we found the $9,000 trade? I don't think we have found the $9,000 trade. I think OMI and SPPI have the chance and potential to be great. Kodak has a chance to be great because it's a trend trade. Rezi has a chance to be spectacular, but I didn't trade enough shares in that quite yet. We have some potential, but I don't think we found it. And over the course of the next 2 days, the last 2 days of this week, I really want to expand we've done enough insider trades. I want to expand that magic formula investing watch list because I think that, this is one of the magic formula investing lists. I think we're likely to find some trades here. And so we'll look through those tomorrow. I think we'll find a pretty big trade. So big magic formula stocks. I think we'll find something here. 3M, for example, might be one. Apple might be one. It's hard to trade that one. Applied Materials might be one. We missed ADP. We even talked about that one. So I think we just need to maybe scan everything and take a really good hard look at stuff. Look at the recovery of LABD, the biotech bear. Pretty interesting, right? Even biotechs got hit. Anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. This is the biotechnology ETF. It dropped when the market crashed. Even it went down. Pretty interesting. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here. I got Rezi on the books officially today. That'll be opening up. OMI, I'm going to look closely at earnings today. SPPI, I'm pretty excited about that. In Thinkorswim, I've got that SPPI trade. I have 2,000 shares of SPPI now. So maybe that's going to be the one. Maybe that'll be the one that jumps and creates the $9,000 trade, but I don't think that's the one yet. I don't think we've gotten there yet. I think we're likely to find sort of an out of the money, inexpensive option, probably a put on something, and make a bunch of money from that. I would not be surprised if by waiting a few days or a week, we get that on the VIX. I would not be surprised. Like, can the VIX go to 27? Can we get there? Did we get all the way up to 27 on the VXX? Bearish divergent. We print the bearish profit circle on the VIX, then we'd be kind of silly not to buy a put, and maybe even take a little bit of a risk to maybe go back to maybe not a $57,000 trade idea, but even bigger. Okay, I got to go to my son's meeting with his teachers at school. Back to the regular schedule tomorrow. I love you all. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for being here, and later.